My name is Skylanders here, and we're back for another video. And today we are here for E3, the overview part 2. Basically, you guys can check the link in the description below. You guys can take that and you guys can watch part 1. That is basically what we learned on day 1 and a little bit of day 2. And now this is what we learned at the end of day 2 and day 3, and a couple days actually after it. So let's go ahead and get right on to it. We have learned K-Troll Radio is back. What is really interesting about this actually is to get some catchphrases and like the sound effects when you attack, you actually play like a little mini game with the K-Troll radio, which is something really cool that I like because it gives like a little more functionality and stuff between the game and the extra ability and stuff. So I think it's really cool. And instead of just finding the radios to get little Easter eggs, you can actually get something from it, which is pretty cool. Something I'm definitely happy that is back is menus, objectives. Before it was kind of like basic objectives, like get to point A to point B. That was all superchargers. But all the previous games, you get chapters. You would have to find treasure chest, a bunch of different goals and stuff. Really cool stuff, and I love that. And there's dares. You know, collect this many soul gems, chest, stuff like that. So it's more fun. It's not randomized. Is basically the thing. That's one thing I like, because especially if you can't find something, instead of randomizing it, you can check up a tutorial on YouTube or something like that, not tutorial, a video, and you can find it instantly, and it makes it a lot easier. Moving on to this, soul gems are back. Like I said, it's not randomized. Soul gems have been back been in every game, but what I mean by they're back, you actually get to find them, and that's something I like. I don't like the randomizer, everything being random. I don't like that feature. That was a really bad feature in Superchargers. I will admit it was cool, the wishing well. That was pretty cool in the randomization of that, but to get soul gems, it was pretty difficult, and winged sapphires too. So I'm happy to have it stationary objects is basically what I mean. A small little thing I want to note, but is still something really cool. Chaos's head is back. What I mean by that is where Chaos is actually more interactive with him. In a couple of the games, he kind of has been getting farther from that feel of him in control. It's like he sends out villains and you deal with the villains. I liked in Spiral's Adventure where you would go to different levels and he would be there. Well, his floating head would be there though, and you're basically Chaos will summon a minion there, so you feel Chaos's presence. And we got to see some gameplay where he actually is like that in this game, which is something is really cool. And I love that feel, so it definitely feels like a Spiral's Adventure type feel, which I really do like that feel. Now moving on to racing. This is something very interesting. We already know racing online is confirmed. I thought they were going to make brand new tracks. I'm very sad to say that all the old tracks are returning. Excuse me. So basically, I'm very sad with Activision. That is lazy. That is straight up lazy what they did. If they tweak it a bit, okay, that's cool. Basically, though, how it sounds is they did like a copy and paste, basically. They copied the maps and they pasted them into the new game. Apparently, it's all the exact same racetracks, which really upsets me, because I was hoping Toys for Bob was going to make new mechanics, make racing a lot better, and with new tracks corresponding with the new levels. But instead, they just took all the old levels. But I'm guessing the graphics are going to look different since they're two different graphic engines. I'm assuming, or at least I'm hoping. So, but we're gonna have all these same racetracks, so that's pretty sad. This is not a villain, but I'm using him as an example. We got to actually see some Doomlander gameplay, and what's really cool with the Doomlanders and stuff that we got to figure out is after a certain period of time, after the villain takes a certain amount of damage, you'll see the armor break off, and then you'll see a little picture of the purple chest, and the chest is, goes collection vault. So that's pretty cool. So imagine if I was fighting this was a villain, you'd fight him, you see his little rest bands, boom, the little bands would break, and then you get a purple chest pop up in the top of the screen. So after the fight, you can get those parts. And then maybe his helmet, then his ears, really cool stuff. We got to see some gameplay of that actually happening, which was really interesting. Crankcase is actually confirmed as a character. Really cool stuff. So if those who are Crankcase fans will get your figure. Trigger Happy will be a storyteller and possibly get his own level. Well, probably get his own level. This isn't like 100% confirmed, but it's pretty much about 90% confirmed. Reason is, so far all the characters we've seen have multiple poses, are from Spiral's Adventures, excluding Jetvac. The the rest though are pretty much Spiral's Adventures, Stealth, Elfie, Ruptor. And the fan favorites, they say, are basically characters that have been reposed, like I said, many times. So I'm going to go ahead, and we saw that picture of a level with his face on it. So I'm just going to go ahead and say Trigger Happy is pretty much confirmed. So, yeah, pretty cool stuff. Now, this is something I made a video on earlier, really cool stuff, though. It is confirmed that not all 11 villains will be from Trap Team. That is awesome. So basically, characters like Dreamcatcher, who would be really hard to make as an actual figure, will probably be replaced with a much better figure, which is something I like a lot better. So, for me, here's a picture of Mesmeralda. Like I said, she's basically a magic character, but I don't think they ever specified what element she is. So, she could easily be part of the dark element, and honestly, I would rather buy Mesmeralda here over Nightshade. He's a cool character, and I bet you if they, like they did, remaster them like some of the other characters, he would be really cool. But I would love a Mesmeralda figure. It would be really cool. So, pretty good stuff there. And people are possibly saying, this is another, though, possible rumor. They say not all villains are from Trap Team, and that is something that I've been thinking about. What if the 11th villain is just a character not from Trap Team, and then, his statement would be true. So, I was thinking about that. I really hope that's not the case, that I'm just wrong there, but hopefully I'm wrong, and then we can get like a Mesmeralda figure. Because if I'm right, though, that 11th villain is, say, of a character from not in this universe, or another universe, but they just went ahead and bring it in, or just something else, they could just bring the 11th villain in for some I don't know, but it could possibly mean that the 11th villain may be a special villain, and all the rest are Doom Raiders. We don't really know. I really hope we'll get confirmation on who the 11 villains are really soon. I really want. And for our final news, it isn't really Skylanders Imaginators related, but we finally got screenshots of the actual Skylanders Academy. We got a closer set of date, probably in October. It's going to launch, more than likely, how they're making it sound, with Imaginators. Pretty good stuff. You guys can actually see Spyro and Eruptor there. And pretty much all the all the storytellers we've already seen have already been pretty much announced in Academy. Jetvac, Eruptor, Stealth Elf, Spyro's got to be in it without a doubt. He just has to be one of those storytellers. But anyways, guys, if you guys did enjoy this video, make sure to subscribe for more daily uploads. Really appreciate it. Really means a lot to me. Also, if you guys want to check out the description for the other video, that would be there. Also, if you guys want to leave me a comment, I do read my comments, and I do love replying to you guys. So make sure to leave me a comment down below. I'll see you guys back.